Save $2 on imported red potatoes, $4.99 for a 5-pound bag. Fresh certified Angus beef, top sirloin steak, $8.99 per pound. Kraft American cheese singles, $3.99 for an 8-ounce package. Post Great Grain cereal, $6.59 for a 16-ounce. Select varieties. Cool treat. Save $2.06 on Magnum ice cream bars, $5.29 for a 3-pack. All stores open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Friday, September 21st, 2018. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. Confirmation that there will be a new leader of the opposition when Parliament reconvenes this November. That person Government House has announced will be sworn in on Monday, and all indications are that it will be Craig Cannonier. Gary Moreno has that story.
It was a senior One Bermuda Alliance official who this morning confirmed to us Ms. Atherton had submitted her resignation as both leader of the opposition in the House of Assembly and as party leader of the One Bermuda Alliance. Since that time, Ms. Atherton has issued a resignation letter which has been sent out to the wider membership. In it, the now former opposition and One Bermuda Alliance political leader indicated that although she is stepping down, the work she identified as needed to be done is yet to be completed, and urges that efforts to unite the party must continue. Ms. Atherton says, quote, "We must continue to develop an OBA that projects fairness and integrity, an OBA which promotes social and economic equality, an OBA which is inclusive and ensures the voices of women and our younger members are heard. These should not just be slogans. By our actions, we must demonstrate that we are prepared to sacrifice our individual agendas for the good of our principles and our country. We must show the community that we don't represent specific segments or biases, but that we speak for all Bermuda. We are one Bermuda," unquote. As we previously reported, under the OBA constitution, once the party leader resigns, an election for a new leader will follow. According to Ms. Atherton, the party chairperson will in due course open up nominations and commence the selection process in what she described as an important election for the OBA. One which she says will give members the opportunity to get behind a leader who can best strengthen and unite the party and lead it according to its values and principles to represent all of Bermuda as an opposition party and government in waiting. This new leader will, quote, "prepare us for and lead us into the next election," unquote. Meanwhile, the Progressive Labour Party has thanked Ms. Atherton for her service as opposition leader. Party Chairman Owen Darrell said in a statement, "As the members of the OBA continue to sort out their affairs, we in the PLP will stay focused on the work we were elected to complete, putting Bermudians first by restoring confidence in public education, creating jobs, diversifying our economy, and making Bermuda more fair for the people of Bermuda," unquote. Government House today announced the swearing-in of a new opposition leader will take place at 10:30 a.m. on Monday of next week. Elsewhere, Ms. Atherton declared, "It was an honor to be elected and serve as the leader of the One Bermuda Alliance." Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
The sudden ousting of Jean Atherton, opposition leader of the OBA, leaving many pondering the future of the opposition party, which is about to appoint its fourth leader in just over 12 months. Some observers worry the vote by 8 of the 11 OBA MPs to remove their leader is just another sign that the One Bermuda Alliance is dying. One such person is Cordell Riley, the respected political commentator. In an interview with Try Trot, Mr. Riley addresses the potential effect on the OBA under incoming leader Craig Cannonier.
Mr. Riley, reports are 8 of the 11 OBA MPs met recently and voted to oust Jean Atherton. Did you see this coming?
Well, I can't really say I saw it coming, but on the other side, I can't say it was a surprise either. Her leadership, whilst I can't say it was ineffective, I just don't think it was inspiring enough for people to sort of galvanize around her. So, if I was in the inner circle, probably I would have felt the same way as those 8 MPs.
Do you see Craig Cannonier taking the party to where it needs to be an effective opposition?
Personally, to put it bluntly, I think it's a disaster. he resigned under dubious circumstances. And if you go back to his 2014 quote, he said he could have been more transparent. So if he were to return to the helm of the OBA, I think it will be just fodder for the PLP, because I think they will pepper him at every motion to adjourn on what was not forthcoming from the Jetgate issue. So it's going to open that up. I think in the political sphere, it's known as the Hobson's choice. When you don't have anybody else, that's the one you go with. You can also liken it to Brexit, where some feel that, no deal is better than a bad deal.
Tarai also asked, what must the party do to shake the perception by some that the OBA is the offspring of the late UBP?
I don't think that can be done as long as you have members remaining from the old UBP. And even if you don't have any members up front, if there's the perception that those members are still running things behind the scenes, they would never shake that off. So it's got to be something completely new, and I don't think it's going to come out of the ashes of the OBA, because when you speak to the next level, quite frankly, that's probably somewhere near the graveyard, because as I wrote back in the 2014 or 15 by-election, where Diallo Rebane, now minister, had won his seat, there was a 5% swing towards the PLP, and I said if that held out for the general election, what would likely take place is that the PLP will pick up all the marginal seats and easily win the next election. And the OBA will then become a footnote in the political annals of history. And I think that's exactly where it's going to be.
In court news, 2 men were charged in magistrates' court with child pornography offenses. Jasmine Patterson has the details.
The 40-year-old Warwick resident, who cannot be named for legal reasons, was charged with 8 counts, including accessing over 20,000 sexual images of children in erotic poses, videos of children depicting penetrative sex, and accessing sexually explicit written material. All offenses were said to have occurred on dates between February 2014 and December last year. The defendant was not required to enter a plea, as the charges must be heard in the Supreme Court. Magistrate Kumisi Tukumbo bailed him in the amount of $10,000 with a like surety, or $20,000 without surety. Elsewhere, a 69-year-old Pembroke man was charged with accessing 113 videos of child pornography via a file-sharing program, Wireshare, between May 3, 2015 and November 28, 2017. He's also charged with accessing 752 images of child pornography between March 18, 2015 and November 28 last year. The man, who also cannot be named, was not required to enter a plea, as the matter must be heard in the Supreme Court. He was bailed in the amount of $6,000 with a like surety. Both defendants must surrender their travel documents to the court. The matters were sent to the Supreme Court for the November 1st arraignment session.
Thanks, Jasmine. We'll have more for you after this short break, including all the latest weather news. Stay with us.
You can count on us.
Save $2 on fresh boneless pork sirloin chops, just $2.99 per pound. Pretty Lady extra large red or white seedless grapes, $3.99 per pound. Only 99 cents for select varieties of 6-ounce Yoplait yogurt. A healthy snack, Mott's applesauce, $3.19 for a 6-pack of select varieties. Save more than half price on 4-roll package bathroom 2-ply toilet tissue, only 89 cents. Visit our website, www.marketplace.pm, for more super specials.
You can count on us.
This is Jane. Jane has been living independently until her recent fall. Because of the injury she sustained, her mobility is now limited. Jane chose Bermuda In-Home Care to assist her with her activities of daily living. The caregivers at Bermuda In-Home Care are trained to care for individuals with limited mobility. They incorporate exercise and activities into Jane's care plan given by her doctor and physiotherapist. The caregiver helps the family select the right medical equipment from Lighthouse Medical Supplies. Lighthouse Medical Supplies have certified durable medical equipment specialists available to help. Falls are the #1 cause of injury in older adults. Falls lead to head injuries and hip fractures. Fall prevention is critical. Call Bermuda In-Home Care to speak to one of our home care specialists. Call us now for a free home care assessment, 705-4424, or visit us at www.bermudainhomecare.com.
Welcome back. Well, detectives are renewing an appeal for witnesses to the latest firearms incidents on Roberts Avenue in Devonshire to come forward. Police say a group of men were congregating in the area when a gunman opened fire. A 28-year-old man sustained a gunshot wound to his leg. However, his injuries were not life-threatening. No one else was injured. Anyone with information is urged to call Detective Sergeant Jason Smith on 717-0864. In other news, low self-esteem can be detrimental to a child's overall health and well-being, according to experts at Ocean Rock Wellness. Well, in an effort to empower children, they will be hosting a series of workshops starting next week. Jasmine Patterson tells us more.
Self-esteem, in its simplest terms, means the way you feel about yourself. Positive self-esteem can often be an elusive quality in the age of social media among kids. Dr. Pete Talbot noticed many of her patients receiving treatment for obesity were also suffering from poor self-esteem.
I would talk to them, okay, why are you crying? Why is this upsetting you? And they would, share with me that, they get teased. They don't like the way they look. They don't like being different. And it became a common theme. And I wouldn't say all of the kids that I see have that issue, but I wouldn't say at least 9 out of 10 did.
A select group of students from across 6 local middle and high schools, public and private, will participate in the workshop starting next week.
There's one thing to help a kid to move to a healthier weight, but I wanted them to really feel really good, within themselves, that, where they are and who they are right now is amazing and fine, and they should be grateful and they should just love themselves for who they are.
Now in its 3rd year, the initiative will also include a workshop designed with parents and teachers in mind. Visiting health and wellness coach Michael Eisen and transformational therapist Relisa Camille will be hosting a range of exercises to teach children how to be their own best friend.
What I find with children is that it's a lot about how they are perceived by their peers, as well as the huge inundation of social media as well, right? There's a lot of anxiety around how they look, how they feel, how they compare themselves with other people. And of course, if they don't live up, then they start to think, well, am I worthy? Am I enough? And then, of course, the eating aspects would go back into childhood obesity.
So how can you sense a child's level of self-esteem?
I'm really looking at what children say, what they do, and their behaviors, because their behaviors will always indicate what their thoughts are, because everything starts with a belief and a thought, then it becomes feelings, how do they feel about themselves, then the behavior. So are they secluding themselves? Are they not willing to do something? What are the words that they're saying? That would be the huge indicator on how their self-esteem is.
The free presentation for parents and teachers will begin promptly at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, September 26 at Cedar Bridge Academy. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Turning to weather news, looking at our weather cam outside our station. Some rain clouds out there right now, but what do we have in store for our weekend? Here are the details from the experts at AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer. We've made it to the weekend, a little bit windy outside today. And it is going to stay breezy as we head into the weekend as well. What we're dealing with is an area of low pressure dropping to our south right now. We don't expect any major issues with this. If it's going to be problematic for anyone, it'll be out toward the east coast into next week. But for us, because it is an area of low pressure, we are getting the gusty winds and also those showers that have been kicking up periodically throughout the day, and that very well is going to be the case as we head into tonight as well. So our radar showing the showers that have been associated with that area of low pressure. Temperatures right now across the island, not too bad outside. We're looking at humidity between 75 and 80%. However, as the storm system is dropping to our south, we're getting those gusty winds. So winds are out of the northeast, anywhere from 20 to 25 knots at times. The water temperature, 84 degrees. And then there are some rough conditions outside of the reef. You'll notice waves outside of the reef running between 7 and 12 feet. So really keep that in mind as we head into the weekend. We are still under a small craft warning, and that continues through Saturday night. Originally, it was through Saturday afternoon, but the Bermuda Weather Service is continuing that a few more hours. So into Saturday night, conditions throughout the day Saturday, inside the reef 2 to 4 feet, outside of the reef 6 to 11 feet, and then we will see those waves decreasing as we get into tomorrow night. All right, what can we expect for the rest of this evening? Mild temperatures, 76 degrees, partly cloudy. It will be windy, and we'll allow for a passing shower or two. Your tidal times right over here, low tide coming in just before 1:30 on Saturday. And again, we are under a small craft warning, so make sure you're exercising extreme caution as we head into the start of the weekend. All right, how are things looking for your Saturday? You know, these icons are making it look a lot worse than it's actually going to be. We'll have some showers around. Not going to be a washout, though, so you can still get outside and get things done. Let's take a look at our futurecast. What can we expect for the rest of the weekend? Here's that area of low pressure. It will slowly drift its way on west into the next couple of days. The next thing that we're going to have to watch out for is, well, you can see it on the map here. This guy, we'll have to watch that as we head into the middle of next week. But for now, things are okay. Your current conditions in a few other locations, a couple of showers and thunderstorms in Jamaica and also Trinidad. No organized systems in the Atlantic, but again, couple of features that we're watching right now. Traveling tomorrow, New York City 73 degrees, Boston just a high of 70. Again, we will have some spotty showers this weekend. No washout conditions, but windy conditions will persist. Monday, heading back to work, 83 and partly sunny.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
My name is Kevin Roberts. I'm a taxi driver / ambassador. My father's with BF&M, so am I. Half of my family always been seemed to be with Bermuda Fine Marine. I tried a different provider at one time, but I wasn't too happy with the competition because back then it took too long to settle claims. They questioned every claim, and I never really had that problem with BF&M. I'm quite happy with it.
Healthy people and healthy communities.
The Ministry of Health is presenting their 8th annual Celebrating Wellness event, September 26th at Bars Bay Park, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. This is a free event for the whole family, featuring music, free health screenings, healthy food vendors, career skills development, and much more. Be healthy, stay healthy. Come and celebrate wellness with the Department of Health. This is a message from the Government of Bermuda.
From the very beginning, it was always our singular focus to do whatever it takes, use every possible resource to fight cancer, and never lose sight of the patients we're fighting for. Our cancer treatment specialists share the same vision. Experts from all over the world working closely together to deliver truly personalized cancer care. And these are the specialists we're proud to call our own. Expert medicine works here. Learn more at cancercenter.com. Appointments available now.
From sunup to sundown, a dedicated team of highly skilled workers using state-of-the-art technology quietly work to keep Bermuda moving. Bermuda's national and commercial institutions and its people rely on goods imported through Polaris from across the globe. Over 30,000 containers are unloaded each year, representing everyday goods, groceries, vehicles, and so much more. Polaris Holding Company is the powerhouse group behind Bermuda's docks with interests in heavy equipment and real estate. Polaris is quietly powering Bermuda.
More than 200 people took in a wealth of knowledge today from Gay Marie Brown, the keynote speaker at the 4th CPA Women's Leadership Conference at the Hamilton Princess. Among the issues addressed by the global innovation expert, exponential technology and job losses.
I cover off the disruption that's happening to all of us, especially in business. And it's largely driven by what we call exponential technologies. Those technologies are going to move quickly. Once they start moving quickly, they don't stop. They're going to change the way we work, the way we live, and the way we do business. And once they start moving fast, they don't slow down. So there's a lot of questions we get around hype and factoring fiction. It's not hype. People take comfort in the word hype because if it's hype, we don't have to change our businesses. We don't have to change our education systems. We don't have to change the way we work. But the fact is, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, additive manufacturing, DNA and biohacking, the ability to change our DNA, things like blockchain, cryptocurrencies and the technologies that support them are shifting so fast. And there's a couple things that are happening. They are cheap and accessible, so anybody with an internet access and some Google and YouTube can figure it out and make changes that we might not want, but that's why we have to wrap our heads around it. They are disruptive. They create new industries or they destroy old ones. With artificial intelligence and robotics, we will see a lot of jobs. We like to call it a displacement. A lot of people, all these jobs are disappearing and there's not going to be a lot of jobs. There's just changes in jobs. The same way we don't see typing pools anymore. What we're trying to tell people is there's a lot of tasks that are menial and repetitive where humans could be doing more interesting things, providing more value. The challenge we're facing is we need companies, corporate accountability, government accountability, and everybody to do this together. Because we have a whole bunch of people right now who will not have jobs. And we know that. We know it's coming.
In other news this evening, a dream come true. That is how Bermudian breakout singer-songwriter Kanjale Taylor describes her debut on the London red carpet. Kanjale's singer, The Sum of Us, is featured on the soundtrack for the gritty British independent film The Intent to The Come Up. She told our Jasmine Patterson about her latest project.
It was really surreal for me, because the movie is a beautiful representation of British Caribbean culture, and just kind of what happens in certain neighborhoods, and the life that they live. And I was so happy to be a part of that, because, being from Bermuda, we're islanders, we're British, and just to be a part of that was definitely a dream come true. And, the movie producers and the labels, they were so kind and so gracious, and they really loved my contribution, and I was just beyond thankful. We just finished the last thing today. I actually shot 2 music videos for my upcoming project called Tides. We shot them here with some amazing directors. So every single day has been, chock full of things to do. I really haven't slept, but I'm so happy and I'm so grateful. A performance that I have coming up that I would love for people to come to and just know about is on October 25th in D.C. I performed, and the lineup is, it's Howard Homecoming, and the lineup is myself, Jacqueline, LMA, her, Queen Maja, TK, Kravitz. It's gonna be such an amazing show, so I'm so excited about that.
Do you get a lot of people asking you questions about Bermuda?
Girl, I do. The number one question is, so what's up with the Bermuda Triangle? And I'm just like, where you can come to Bermuda safely, So I've been literally telling people to come to Bermuda every single day, So I hope that they all follow through. I told them, I'm like, the best way to experience Bermuda is just to meet a local, have some food, have some fish chowder, all of that. So I love my country. I have to big it up every time somebody asks.
Still to come, World Days, and we'll have all the latest sports news in just a few minutes.
Hey Smokey, let's get lunch from the Marketplace food court.
You know what? That sounds good.
They have oxtails, pumpkin, curried lamb, lemon chicken, sweet and sour ribs, vegetable stir fry, and the variety goes on.
Their chefs are good. They'll set you right up with all the good carbons.
And don't forget the special dishes from the islands.
It don't matter. No matter what you feel like eating, Marketplace will have it.
It's quick, it's quality, and at prices you can count on.
Visit us 7 days a week. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Made for you daily at the Hamilton Marketplace Food Court.
It's a big world out there. An 8 billion person population can make 65,000 seem so small. But Bermuda punches well above its weight. It's a leading offshore financial services center, one of the largest insurance and reinsurance markets in the world, and a promising new hub of financial technology.
Blockchain, virtual currency businesses, is that the best thing for the economy?
The breakdown tackles the high-level concepts.
Spike coming in, the bank left with a PE ratio,
but cuts through the technical jargon.
Fancy way of calculating how expensive a stock is.
So you can understand not just how Bermuda is impacted by the world, but how the world is impacted by Bermuda.
The Breakdown with me, Tony Waterman, Thursdays at 8 p.m. starting this October.
Now here's Earl Baisden with tonight's sports report.
Clubs have received fines for having unlicensed coaches. They could have received point reductions. However, the Bermuda Football Association President Mark Wade says that fines have been levied.
But at this juncture, what we decided to do is levy all the necessary fines, all the fines that have been incurred to all of the clubs. And this is certainly for youth and senior football. So we've done that and communicated that to each of the offending clubs. The disappointing thing is that it's so many. So what we've also decided to do is rather than have the match forfeit that the policy calls for, we're going to address this issue at the Congress, which is next week Thursday.
The possibilities of Bermuda hosting future World Triathlon Series events is on the table, according to the Bermuda Triathlon Association President Stephen Petty.
I think, and it's early days yet, but the board did mention, would Bermuda be interested in continuing the WTS, the series, going forward in 2022 and on. I think they like to find, spectacular venues, and I feel, and they feel, they found one in Bermuda. Just like Montreal is a permanent stop, Abu Dhabi, they each have their own characteristics that are well-run events, and I think they see the same thing for Bermuda. So that's down to negotiations somewhere down the line, but the offer is certainly there.
Delray Rollins and his Sussex Seconds teammates drew their second 11 three-day friendly with Derbyshire. Sussex resumed their second inning on 50 without loss on the final day and declared on 177 for 3, adding 127 runs to set Derbyshire a total of 284 for victory. Derbyshire could only manage 270 for 6 when play came to an end. In the Sussex inning, Rollins scored 15 off of 7 balls, hitting 2 4s and 1 6. Derbyshire would then take up the challenge, but fell those 14 runs short of their target. Rollins finished with figures of 20 overs, 2 maidens, 2 for 79. 3 players scored 2 goals each to lead Thomas College men's soccer team to a 7-0 victory over Northern Vermont University Linden in their North Atlantic Conference opener. Thomas College men's soccer featured 7 Bermuda players on their roster that include Mikhail Walker, Justin Bow, Jazade Samuels, Tequilo Burgess, Zanawi Bowen, Javed Warren Smith, and Darren Woolridge. The decision made yesterday will go down as one of the most shocking days in the sporting world when the World Anti-Doping Agency Executive Committee defied the outcry from athletes and other organizations by comfortably voting 9-2 in favor of the reinstatement of the Russian anti-doping agency, Rashada, at a meeting. The decision to rubber stamp the recommendations of the Compliant Review Committee was widely expected, with one member confirming yesterday that all 5 representatives of the sports movement would vote to declare Rashada compliant. WADA Vice President Linda Hallingland and New Zealand's Representative Clayton Cosgrove were the only 2 to vote against. It brings an end to Rashada's 3-year suspension, first initiated in November of 2015 following allegations of state-sponsored doping in Russian athletics. In a statement, WADA Vice President Hallingland has admitted the World Anti-Doping Agency has failed to protect the integrity of sport by reinstating Russia, and the decision cast a dark shadow over the credibility of the organization. Hallingland, who publicly revealed she would vote against the recommendations to lift the suspension on the Rashada agency, said that today we failed the clean athletes of the world, end quote. In Somersby Men's Classic Bowling League action at the Work Lanes last evening, it was Team Electric 22, Team M-Stout 8. Team Relive went down 19-11 Films Plus. Goslin's Black Seal defeated Team Unsponsored 20-10, and the New Mix-Ups defeated the Tele Bermuda High Speeders 16.5 to 13.5. Bermuda field hockey umpire Donovan Simmons was back in action officiating in Chile at the FIL Hockey Series Open. On day 2, Simmons officiated the men's match between Chile and Uruguay that finished scoreless. Micah Franklin began taking part in the Kiva Club Squash Open in New Mexico. Franklin, the 8th seed, took on American Jamie Aguirre and defeated him in straight games. Franklin won the first game 11-4. He would then win the second game 11-1, and then would close out the match winning the third game 11-7. Franklin will meet Chris Longman from England in the quarterfinals. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Thanks, Earl. Well, that's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Have a great weekend. Good night.